question is, what are you going to do? When we look back in the history books, and generations after us come and say, Grandma, Grandpa, Mom, Dad, Aunt, Uncle, what did you do when all this was going on? I know what I'm going to tell them I did. I fought. I fought like hell. So the question is, what are you going to do?
Fight! Because we live in a country with no thrones, no crowns, and no kings. One more time. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. When our public schools are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our democracy itself is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
When free speech is under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
Dude, that bald eagle was cracking me up. He came in like halfway through all of the speeches and just started doing his thing just right off the rip. And I gotta tell you, that is what we need more of. We need more humor, we need more energy, because everyone already knows about all the things that are happening. We don't need any more depressing news just saturating our bones. But that doesn't mean that you can't still protest against authoritarianism, against power grabs, against corruption, and still not kind of have fun with it. Anything to keep the morale up, to keep it elevated so that we have the energy to continue on living through this shit.
What's wrong with these people? They never care until their family members are affected. Like Rob Portman, who didn't care about LGBTQ or gay marriage until his son came out, and then he's for gay marriage.
So when facing a lot of uncertainty when it comes to critical issues, it's okay to add humor where you can. It's okay to make a protest feel more like a celebration. It's okay to wear a frog suit. As we all should be, apparently. So if you guys join the No Kings protest, leave a comment down below talking about your experience. What happened in your neck of the woods? What happened in your city? What happened at your gathering? What was the turnout? Did you make a sign? Leave a comment about what your sign said. For me, I think my favorite sign said something to the extent of, I knew it would be bad, but holy shit. Now again, much like the last No Kings protest, which I also did a video on, I will link that down below, but I wanted to go around asking people what their favorite protest song was, what their favorite political album is, because of course that's what we cover here on Research Reality is protest music. And I really want to make a montage of all the people saying their favorite songs, their favorite artists, but again, I got there a little too late, so then the speakers were already doing their thing, and of course I'm not just gonna walk around in the middle of that. But again, just like the last time, I got exactly one person who again, when put on the spot, could actually think of an answer and also didn't mind being filmed, and it was the crying Statue of Liberty.
We shall not be moved.
So that was pretty cool, got one at least, but again, I guess maybe for No Kings Part 3, I will get there sooner, and then I can finally get the montage I've been wanting to make for way too long now. About to just go to a Walmart and start asking people what their favorite protest song is.
Because when our rights are under attack, and they are, we show up and we fight back. Right now, we are facing some of the most aggressive political attacks on bodily autonomy in our lifetimes, from both the federal and state levels.
So in the days leading up to the No Kings protest, I of course thought it was very humorous that Mike Johnson, Pam Bondi, Caroline Leavitt, they all tried to paint this No Kings protest as a pro-Hamas protest, an anti-American protest, an Antifa protest, and how the radical left was at it again. You would see cities being burned down, you would see flags being burned, and apparently there was a lot of talk about maybe Trump invoking the Insurrection Act, and that would be a good way to clamp down on all the dissidents. That of course did not happen.
That was loud, but I don't think the folks in the White House heard you, so I'm going to ask it again. Do you think the most highest elected official in the White House has abided by his oath to defend and protect the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestics? No! Well, the question is, what are we going to do about it? That's what we're here. Are we going to march? Are we going to vote? Are we going to protest? Are we going to get tired and still go? You're darn right we will.
And so the protest went off without any incidents, no mass shootings, no mass incidents. It was all peaceful protesting. And then they had to flip the label from Antifa, pro-Hamas, radical left rioters to some kind of geriatric, low energy, just any kind of lame label that they could slap on. Again, as a way to discredit what this actually represented. And of course, the President of the United States, the highest office in the land, shared an AI video of him flying a fighter jet over the crowd and unleashing a bunch of diarrhea all over the people that he is supposed to be governing over. And that is the state of American leadership and politics. Love it. And on the topic of not attending the No Kings protest because you feel like it won't actually accomplish anything, well, I was surprised to see that VFT Valhalla, who was actually a retired Green Beret, he attended one of the No Kings protests along with one of his buddies. And again, this is someone who is actually firmly center-right, who does not agree with the Democratic Party, shits on them, shits on liberals in general for various things. However, he himself actually had a very positive experience attending the No Kings protest because he understands that it's still their First Amendment right to do all of this. You can voice your opinion, you can march on the street. And the thing is, even though it's the No Kings protest, which is largely aimed at Trump and a lot of his authoritarian measures, well, actually, in that video, you had a number of people talking about a number of issues that actually transcends the left-right paradigm to the point that, again, you can get someone that's even center-right going, having a good time, still sharing ideas, still hearing people out. So again, it can actually accomplish quite a bit more than someone that's just going to stay home, sit on their couch, and do whatever it is that they do all the time anyways. Now, more to the point of this video, I do want to get at the conversation revolving around the No Kings protest and what exactly it aimed to achieve and what exactly did it even achieve, because there's a lot of people that say that this protest really didn't achieve much at all. I saw a lot of people argue, unfortunately, that attending this protest would not actually change anything systemically, if anything at all. So going, marching around, and shouting into the air would essentially just be a massive waste of time for all the people that attended. Now, I personally would argue that exercising your First Amendment right is never a waste of time, and that gathering in person with people from your community is never a waste of time, and that protesting the government in the name of civil rights while denouncing their corruption is never a waste of time. And just last week, Russia had several hundred people turn out for a protest in St. Petersburg, obviously against the government, but how many more people would have attended if they didn't have a fear of harm against themselves or their family? So take those several hundred protesters from St. Petersburg and compare them to the 7 million protesters who attended the second No Kings protest. We are not the same, nor will we be. And maybe for a lot of people, this was their first protest that they ever attended. Maybe this was the starting point for them to start community organizing or to just join other groups, hear different thoughts and opinions from a diverse group of people. But I do want to stress one point in particular. So at the protest that I attended, they did have several petitions that people could come up and sign. However, I don't think there's enough emphasis on voter registration, which is kind of the reason why we are in this predicament in the first place. People want to say that voting doesn't matter, and I agree that voting 25 times a century is not nearly enough for a political lifetime, but it's definitely far from nothing. For instance, that was why Charlie Kirk was so effective at what he did, was that he was going to these college campuses, he was debating the students, but again, he drew in the crowds, people would listen to his perspective, his worldview, and if people liked what he was saying, if they liked the rhetoric, if they felt like he was correct, it gave them a reason to join the Republican Party, and they could go register right then and there at their tent. So what I'm getting at is, if you attended the No Kings protest but you are not a registered voter, just register to vote. I myself am a registered independent. You can register for whatever you want. All I'm saying is, if you took the time to attend this protest, get your name on the list so that you can turn in a ballot and vote in every single election from this point on that you are physically able to attend. Or do mail-in voting, I don't know. Because America, for the time being, is still a democracy, and we need those votes to be counted because these elections are so razor thin that just a little extra nudge can be the difference between victory and yet another loss. And going back to Charlie Kirk, I actually did a video on Charlie Kirk when the incident happened. If you guys want to check that out, I will link it down below. But there is a counter to Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's organization, and it's called National Ground Game. It's run by a number of people, but I mostly follow Z on TikTok. They've been running something called the Unfuck America Tour, which, you know, that name is what it is, but Destiny has been a part of that as well, where they are essentially doing the same thing that Charlie Kirk did, which is go to these college campuses and debate people, the marketplace of ideas. And again, it's not just about sharing ideas, it's not just about confronting other ideologies, it's about voter registration. So is voting everything? No, absolutely not, but there's still so much you can do in between election cycles that again can still make a difference. Like I said on my other video talking about the first No Kings protest, all you need to do is just add a token of resistance to the jar of resistance. Every small act equates to something, and over time those small sums can add to quite a lot in the aggregate. And again, there's so many more of us than there are of them. So we just need a lot of people doing small acts, and that alone will generate a lot of pressure to enact the positive change that we seek.
To do something. Once a week, do something to support democracy and protect the right to vote. Small, consistent actions, writing a letter to your rep, helping a neighbor to vote, protesting, all create a momentum that cannot be ignored.
And so again, when it comes to all of that uncertainty about those critical issues, we are facing quite a lot as a nation, as a society, and I think one of the best videos I've seen lately is actually from one of my main sources when it comes to geopolitics. His name is Bremmer from GZERO Media. He was just running through a number of things that not just the United States, but really the world is facing in terms of changing political climate, in terms of the actual climate changing itself. So I highly recommend this video. I will link it down below. And it just does a really good job of highlighting the need for global leadership. And on that note, we don't just need global leadership, we still need local leadership, which again, you can find that at these protests where you are surrounded by people in your community who are actually plugged into the things that affect you the most, be it at a local level or a state level. Yes, federal does matter, and we should still vote in those elections, but again, you have to register to vote, and now I'm just rambling. So again, guys, if you attended the No Kings protest, leave a comment down below talking about your experience, the signs that you saw and or made, and just what do we do? How do we actually build a coalition? How do we confront ideologies? What do we do to get ourselves out of this mess? So again, guys, I hope you liked the video. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe if you like the vibe, and check out some of our other reviews of protest music if you are in the market for some more political music, revolutionary music, you know, music for the next protest that you might attend.
Power!